You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. Two accomplished musicians who happen to share the same first name come together in a performance celebrating their love of the rich Ukrainian and Jewish music traditions. The two Myrons, Myron Kurjewicz and Myron Schultz, perform on Thursday as part of the Music N Mavens daytime concert and lecture series down at the Rady JCC. First, though, they've joined me in the Classic 107 studio. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Hi there.
It's so wonderful to have you here. Myron Schultz, I should clarify. Welcome back to Classic 107. Of course, we've had you on before, famously as a member of FinGen, also as the proprietor of the Wonderful World of Sheepskin. And Myron Kurjewicz, we know each other through the Ukrainian community, of course. We've performed together before. Husti's 50th anniversary, of course, comes to mind, the gala concert. Yes. You're both such respected musicians in each of your respective communities, but I'm wondering, when did your paths first cross? Myron Schultz, do you want to speak to that?
I will be happy to. Our business used to be on Selkirk Avenue between McGregor and Andrews. Thank you, Myron.
Welcome.
And Myron's business used to be on Selkirk Avenue between McGregor and Andrews. Thank you, Myron.
Exact same block.
Same block,
Yeah.
opposite ends, other side of the street. And I used to have to go there to drop packages off to mail them. And Myron was the proprietor of the pharmacy, and we met each other, got to know each other. You know, Myrons talk to each other because nobody else will talk to us. And
exclusive club.
One thing led to another, and 40 years later, we're playing together.
I mean, it really is an incredible story. And I mean, you bring up Selkirk Avenue and, of course, the once great economic and cultural center, the immigrant district in the city. And I mean, it seems so appropriate that it would be Selkirk Avenue that would first bring you together. Myron Kurjewicz, at what point did you realize you were chatting with a fellow musician, not just a fellow proprietor on Selkirk Avenue?
You know, we both had businesses, and we both had a musical background. And I remember, you know, on weekends or even sometimes during the course of the week, I would be playing, whether it was weddings or conventions or whatever, with some other musicians. And we got to talking just about music. And then Myron had mentioned that, oh yeah, you know, I play in this folk group, FinGen, and we do this and we do that. And then whenever, again, when Myron would come by and we'd share, just kind of like share war stories as to what were you doing on the weekend, what were you doing on the weekend, and it then it was just kind of on a whim. Well, perhaps maybe one day we'll get together. And like you said, like 40 years later, it took us that amount of time to practice to finally put something that we feel reasonably comfortable with, and is pretty exciting.
So let me get this.
Hold on, reasonably comfortable with?
Well, gotta keep practicing.
Okay, that's a hell of an endorsement.
There's still a couple of days.
Always could be better.
Yeah, there's still a couple of days. You know, I want to unpack that a little bit more because it seems surprising to me that the two of you hadn't performed together before. Is this going to be a first on Thursday?
This will be a first on stage. Yes.
So what do you think took so long for the two of you to get together to perform?
Well, I don't know. There's you're busy with other things. You've got other people you're playing with. You know what happened in this particular case was Carla, who does the Music N Mavens, came to me. She wanted me to do. Originally, I did a concert last year of myself and another clarinetist. Naum Guman from Accord Music. We did a concert together. And we were thinking about doing another one with an expanded group of clarinetists. And anyways, it was seeming a little complicated. And I hope still to be able to pull that one off again. But I thought, you know what? This is time to try something completely different again. And fortunately, Carla was game for it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give Myron a call, the other Myron, and see if he's game to try something finally after all these years. So sometimes it just has to be the opportunity comes about. You know, it also happened that I was in conversation and communication recently with Andrei Mikhalishin, another fine musician, and he and I want to try and do something at some point, and maybe it'll be with Myron as well. We'll pull something together. So sometimes it's just a matter of names come up, opportunities come up, and you say, okay, well, if not now, when?
Yeah, if not now, when? It's funny you bring up N. I was literally just texting him this morning. So, I know he's a regular listener to the show, too. So, I mean, the communities are so tight-knit, right? And, I mean, it is still a big, small town when we talk about the city of Winnipeg. And so I'm curious if we can talk a little bit more about the program itself and what you've put together. You'll be joined by fellow FinGen member Daniel Kulak on bass. What can audiences expect in terms of the program itself?
We have no idea. We haven't started working on anything
You're just
yet.
taking requests for the hour. Yeah. Whatever they'd like to hear. How's it going to work in terms of the kind of who's taking the lead that way? I mean, is it a program of balanced kind of Myron Kurjewicz? You would say, hey, I think that we could incorporate these elements in these songs. And then Myron Schultz, you would say, all right, cool, let's do that. And then also this. Is that how it kind of came together collaboratively?
Well, Myron had mentioned, you bring some of your music together, and first of all, when he initiated this, this project, I thought, wow, that's pretty cool, to be able to do that, and because there's so many, I think in a number of cultures, so much similarity and music, and you don't have to necessarily speak the language, but the music, there's that commonality. Mm-hmm. And when he mentioned about, well, you put some of your stuff together and we'll put some of our stuff together and we'll get together. And then, so then we were kind of emailing charts back and forth. And then, we got together and thinking, what might work, what might not work, and then we kind of started to flesh things out as to what might be most appropriate for this kind of an event. And there is, to make a long story longer, to answer your question, is that
speed it up, Myron.
There is,
I want to say something too.
Did you bring your pajamas? It might be a long one. Okay, that we're in the balance of the music. There's sort of an equal opportunity, to listen to both Ukrainian and to the Jewish, and the gel and how we manage to, create and mold things to suit our particular duet, and in this case a trio.
So,
Myron.
Thank you, Myron.
You're welcome.
So, a few things, quick. I'll be really quick. So for one of my inspirations a little bit was a tour that Sting and, oh my God, how am I not remembering his name? Peter Gabriel did, Rock, Paper, Scissors, where they jumbled up their pieces and put it all together. So they were doing each other's music. So that was sort of a bit of the inspiration here. So there's no lead on this. This is completely equal. Yeah. It's a completely balanced thing. And, the musics are so intertwined, really, that you geographically, culturally, so you can't really separate them. And just, the other day, my wife was saying, so are you going to play the game Jewish or Ukrainian when you're doing this concert? So I thought, well, no, probably not going to do that. But I was practicing yesterday, and I hear from the kitchen, my wife says, Ukrainian. So I mean, there are certain things that I think distinguish musically, keys, chord progressions, melodically, but after that, it's just a big mishmash. And that's what we're trying to do.
And it is such a wonderful mishmash that can come together. And just a few months back, we had Alan Byrne on the show, the highly respected klezmer musician.
I was working with him when he was here.
Yeah, and that's right. Yeah, you were Des Hotel Faculty of Music and helping coach the klezmer ensemble that they had there. And I mean, he was talking about the origins of klezmer and the regions from which many of these musicians came, areas in present-day Ukraine. And Myron, you were speaking, Kurjewicz, to this a little bit earlier in terms of just the number of parallels that are there. I mean, it makes for this shared musical language, one that you both speak so fluently, and I imagine that just translates through to the performance because you each get to bring your own to this program, and it's certainly going to make something very unique.
Well, and even better than that, though, I'll say, for me, I'm not going to speak for MK here, getting a chance to play this other music with a guy who's steeped with it. Like in another band that I played with, Black Sea Station. We had an accordionist from Moldova. So we were picking up a lot from him. So now I'm playing with Myron and learning some of the Ukrainian styles. And it's really, as a musician who's played a long time And it's sort of been said in some ways to immerse yourself in a different way of playing the music with somebody who is so steeped in it is really enriching.
So then one last question to you, MK. What's it like working with MS? Same type of question.
Careful.
I'll try to be gentle. It's an experience, somebody of Myron his caliber, and how comfortable he is in doing his music, and how comfortable I am in doing my music. And although there's still, you want to try and achieve a certain flavor, whether it's Jewish. So I'm listening to the way he plays and incorporating and kind of anticipating as to what might be the most suitable to complement him when it's time for him to shine. And I trust that's what's happening in reverse too. And so we kind of pick our roles given the appropriate music. But there's a lot of anticipatory sort of chord progressions and changes that are automatic in for me anyway.
Yeah.
For in the Ukrainian music, but it's a little different in the Jewish music. So there's new horizons and new challenges for me, and that's pretty exciting,
Yeah.
So,
Very, very exciting indeed, especially
Yeah.
when two legends like yourselves come together for
Legends.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're going to
Thank
announce
you.
it on Classic 107. Why not?
we're
Why
going to
not?
give you an hour to stop talking.
Speaking of which, can you do me one favor?
Yeah, what was that?
Speaking of legend, could you say the name of the piece of that Astor Piazzolla piece one more time?
Milonga del Angel, I think.
Okay, I mean
Something like that.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was, when I started hosting, I was just told to say it with confidence. And
Yeah.
so then someone can correct you if they'll correct you, and we always appreciate the feedback. But
Yeah.
Milonga
No,
del Angel.
I mean just hearing somebody say it like that was just
Hey, well,
legendary.
excited to hear what the two of you have to say on Thursday, the concert, 2 p.m. down at the Rady JCC. That's February 23rd. Myron Kurjewicz on accordion, Myron Schultz on clarinet, joined by Daniel Kulak on bass. Not one to miss. 2 p.m. If you've got a free Thursday, pencil it into the calendar. Thank you both for being here
Thank
this
you
morning.
for
very
allowing
much.
us to do this. Thank you.
Bye, Simon.
A great pleasure.